Yes! First place again! What's up, Wolverines? How's it going? I'm Cameron. I'm an admissions counselor at UVU. I was just crushing this game over here. And I was thinking, you know what? It's super easy to get into UVU, but sometimes the application itself can be a little tricky. Let me walk you through that so you can crush your application. Okay, so the first step is to come to this webpage here, uvu.edu/admissions, or you can just Google UVU admissions. Once you get here, on the left side, click where it says undergraduate application. It'll take you to this page here where you can create an application account. If you have not made an account yet, go ahead and just click this button right here. That'll take you to a page where you can fill out some contact info and set a password, and then you can keep going from there. If you have made an account already, just go ahead and log in right here. And by the way, if you forgot your password, you can click this link here to reset it. And if you're still having trouble with the password after that, just contact an admissions counselor and we can help you out. Once you log in, you'll come to this page, which is your application account. So at the top, just go ahead and click My Applications. Then on this page, you can select the application that's right for you. Just make sure you read through the descriptions carefully so you pick the right one. And by the way, an undergraduate degree basically means an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. For this video, I'll pick the new freshman/transfer application, which you can see here is for students who have never previously applied to UVU. This first page is pretty easy. Just select what semester you want to start classes and confirm you want to do an undergraduate degree. And then if you know what major you want to do, great. If not, you can scroll down to undecided and click on that. And then just click submit. Okay, so this page of the application is pretty self-explanatory. Just fill out that info there and this info here. And if you do not have a social security number, you can just go ahead and type in 9 zeros and that'll be fine, even if it says this right here. If you don't have a social security number, you can just type in the 9 zeros and that'll work fine. This bottom part here is optional. However, it is helpful if you do select one of these. It can help the university connect you to more resources. So yeah, this page is pretty easy. And then at the bottom, just click Save and Continue. Okay, now we're on the address and contact information page. Make sure to fill out all this address information accurately because this helps determine your residency status, which determines if you pay in-state or out-of-state tuition, okay? This permanent address information is basically like where your parents live, so go ahead and fill that out there. The permanent address telephone is like if they have a landline phone. If not, that's fine. You can just put your own cell phone there. The local or current mailing address information is basically where you live currently. So, for example, if you've moved away from home to go to college, just put the address of your apartment wherever you're at now. If you're still living with your parents, that's fine. Just go ahead and put the same information here, and then your phone, and then save and continue. Okay, now we're on the academic plans and history page. This part is easy enough. So just as an example, I'll say I'm a freshman student. I plan on taking classes in person on campus. I plan to start fall of 2020. And once again, if you know what your major is, great. But if not, you can just click undecided. Okay, so that's easy enough. Now this high school information section is probably the trickiest part of the application. So I'll just walk you through that a little bit here. First, I'll mention it is really helpful if you just look through these instructions and follow those up here, okay? So first thing we'll do is we will type the name of our high school in this first box here. I'll just say Mountain View as an example. And the directions here tell us that we should not select anything for this field or this field here. And the reason for that is because if you do, it can sometimes cause errors, so it's easiest just to leave those blank. If you did happen to type something, you can delete it. And if you selected something from these drop-down menus, you can just go back and click on that very top option to deselect it to kind of clear it out. So once you type in the name of the high school and the other fields are blank, just click this search button here. And then if you can find your high school, great, just click on that. Now, a lot of students get hung up on this part because after you select the high school from the list, you have to then also click on this select button in order to actually select it. Otherwise, it won't let you submit the application, okay? So just keep that in mind. And you'll know that you did it right when your high school shows up in this gray box here, okay? So let's say, for example, you could not find your high school on that list In that case, I'll show you what to do. And by the way, you can, if you get to this point and you need to restart, you can click clear and then just click on this gray box here, and that will make the other boxes reappear so that you can start over, okay? So let's say, for example, you went to some high school in Utah, but you can't find your high school from the list. According to these instructions up here, what you need to do is type other in-state high school, just like it appears right here with the capitals and everything. Just type it exactly like that. Leave the other fields blank still, and then click search, and then the option that you'll choose is the one that says other in-state high school right there, okay? It does say Orem. Don't worry about that, though. That doesn't matter. It's just a coding thing for the application. But yeah, this is the correct option if you went to high school anywhere in the state of Utah but can't find it on the list, okay? So just select this option, and again, remember, you'll need to click this button after, okay? And there you go, just like that, okay? So let's say, for example, you went to a high school outside of Utah and you can't find your school on the list. In that case, just looking up at the instructions up here, you need to type out of state, just like that, okay? And then click search. And kind of the same thing, the option you'll choose here is just the one that says out of state. Again, it'll say Orem, but don't worry about that. Just regardless of what high school you went to out of Utah, if you can't find it on the list, this is the right option here to choose, and then click select. And that's that. So let's say, for example, if you were homeschooled, that's a little bit different. Regardless if you were in state or out of state, if you were homeschooled, just following the directions up here, you'll type homeschool like that, leave the other fields blank still. You'll click search, and then the one that you'll choose is the one, again, that says Orem, okay? So whether or not you're in state or out of state, if you're homeschooled, this is the option you'll choose. And again, click select, and there you have it, okay? So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. And after that, all you gotta do is just type in some graduation date here. It doesn't have to be exact, so don't stress out too much about it, just an estimated date for your high school graduation, and then you'll click save and continue. Okay, now we're on the residency page, and just so you know, you can go back and forth between the different pages on the application if you just click on the left side here, okay? So for this example, I'll say that I'm a Utah resident and I've lived here for a while, so I'll just mark that. Now, just like it says up here in red, you have to have a driver's license or a state ID number in order to be classified as a Utah resident for tuition purposes, okay? So if you have this information, it's really important that you put this here. And if you have a permit number instead of a driver's license, that's fine. You can put that here too. If you don't have a driver's license, you can get a state ID number. A state ID is like an alternate form of ID. It looks similar to a driver's license, and you can get that from your local driver's license office, which, keep in mind, is separate from the DMV. So if you want to get a state ID number, you need to get that from your local driver's license office, not the DMV. And you can find more information about how to do that if you just look online, Utah State ID. Also, if you're still in high school, sometimes there may still be a chance you can get this number from your high school counselor. So if you have any questions about this, or if you're struggling with any part of this residency stuff, you're always welcome to contact our residency office. Their email address is residency@uvu.edu, and they also have a lot of helpful info on their website if you just search UVU Residency. Okay, this next part looks more complicated than it is. I promise it's not that difficult. Basically, if you're claiming that you're a Utah resident, we just need you to provide a little bit of info on the main things you've been doing for the last 3 years, just to help us verify that a little bit. So for this example, I'll say that I am a high school senior, or I've just graduated high school in the last couple months, and I've been going to high school in Utah for the last 3 years. So in that case, I'll come up here to activity 1, and I'll just click school there. And I'll click this. Now, for the dates here, you don't have to stress out too much about that. You don't need to know exact dates of your graduation or anything like that. If you have been going to high school in Utah for the last 3 years, you can just put the date as 3 years ago from today. So, for example, I'll say today is July 1st. In that case, over here, I'll put July 1st, 2017 to July 1st of 2020. And that's it. So if you're in that situation, that's all you got to do. You just put that down, and you don't need to worry about anything for activity 2 or activity 3. You can just come down here and click this button, okay? So now let's say, for example, say you've just got back from like a religious mission or something like that. That's totally fine. So in this case, we will change this to religious or charitable service. And let's say you were out for 2 years and you just got back. So I'll change this to 2018. And then for activity 2, if you were going to high school before your mission, for activity 2, I'll just change this to school. And then I'll do that. And then for the date, again, it doesn't have to be exact, so don't stress out too much, as long as it makes 3 years total. So I'll put July 1st, 2017 to July 1st of 2018. And then that way, this makes 1 year, and then this makes 2 years for a total of 3 years, okay? And so you can change this to whatever you've been up to. There's only really 5 options. If you were working, you can change it to that. You can adjust the dates, whatever it is, as long as it makes a total of 3 years just of the main things that you've been up to, okay? So you don't need to worry about filling out all the slots here if you don't need to, okay? It doesn't have to be too difficult or detailed. As long as you have those 3 years of data, then that's it. You can come down here and click Save and Continue. All right, we're almost done with the application now. The rest is pretty easy. So this is just some emergency contact info, so be sure to fill that out, and some other info. And by the way, right here, incarcerated means are you currently in jail? So yeah, just go ahead and fill out the rest of this stuff here. And then on the next page, we just have some terms and conditions here that you need to agree to. So be sure to read through those carefully and then type your signature here, and then you can submit your application. Just keep in mind the application won't be processed until you make the payment on the next page. And then that's it. You're done. So that's pretty much it. Pretty easy, huh? If you still have questions, feel free to reach out to any of us admissions counselors, and we'd be glad to help you out. Just check out the links in the description below.